Hello and welcome to Katjoga with a K and a J, and I have a quick tutorial for you today, or it's actually just two versions of doing triangle and what I believe is important to know about it. So instead of just watching, just join me and let's do it on our feet together. See you on the mat. Let's look at this wonderful pose, the triangle, Trikonasana. Has many benefits. I feel that it's like a whole body toner, really, maybe except for arms, which we will be talking about. I'm joined by the two boys, so they will supervise that I'm doing everything right. So first of all, come into a wide stance, but not too wide. I'm going to say that right to begin with. All right, don't go crazy wide apart here. That will depend on your flexibility, and we will explore what's right for you. It might help you with balance to line up the heel of the left foot. I now have the left foot forward, in front. If you line up the heel to the arch of the back foot. So if you have a hard time balancing, you might even want to have the back foot forward on the mat a little bit more. That will give you a better stance. But for the alignment, really aligning the heel to the arch is best. Arms into a T position. And now I'm going to show you the first kind of triangle, which is probably more often done than the other. This one is you're kind of pulling your left hip in, while at the same time you're shifting the left ribs forward, right? And now you're tilting the whole torso, kind of in one piece, right? If I could, I would just flop down like that. All right, so let's try that. And what that should result in really is a pretty straight torso, which is practically parallel to the floor. Right? So that of course depends on many things. It depends on, is your arm all the way on the floor, which can by the way be in the back of or in the front of your foot, or are you holding somewhere on your shin? So that of course has an influence on how parallel your torso is to the floor. All right, makes sense? And that also has to do with how far are your legs apart. I can put them apart really far, and then I have my hand down here on the inside of my foot, and I'm gonna have to check on the video myself, but then kind of again be parallel to the floor with my torso. If I have the legs closer together, but I put my hand all the way down, I feel now that my torso is tilted too far downwards, and it should be more up like that. Maybe you want to go in front of a mirror and check all of that out. It should always then also have the feeling of opening to the sky. You can even look up. You don't have to. You can look up, down, or front. All of that is fine in triangle. One more thing though. I would not put a whole lot of weight in that bottom arm. You're benefiting so much more if you really are holding the whole weight on that, in the oblique muscles, the side abdominal muscles, right? So I'm even letting it dangle, and then I can now really feel that I have activated, you can probably hear it in my voice, I have really activated my core in order to hold this. So if I just kind of rest here, I don't think I'm benefiting a whole lot actually. I don't know. Try it, do it. Just really rest. And it's kind of, I'm not even sure why I'm in this position now. I might as well not do it. Agree? Okay. So one more last thing. Don't push the knee straight. Like don't Don't push all the weight into the knee to straighten this leg out. Rather, lift the kneecaps and have a slight bend, ever so slight bend in both legs. This will activate your leg muscles so much more, and you are not endangering anything either. All right, now if you're hanging here, literally now, not this kind of hanging, but this kind of hanging, the proud, graceful kind of hanging, come up. And that's gonna be, a whole lot more activating in all of your torso. Let's repeat this to the other side. So, line up. Heel of the front leg to the arch of the back leg. The distance of your legs is gonna depend entirely on your strength and your flexibility. So, I'm not even gonna tell you what kind of a distance this should be, because it's for you to find out. Arms in a T position. Again, pull back in the right hip and shift the right ribs forward, and then tilt the whole upper body. Was that hard to say? I don't know why. And now the back should feel like it's arching, especially the upper back, and turning towards the sky. You can use this hand here as a lever, that's okay. Just not too much. I would force myself, right? We're never forcing in yoga. And it doesn't matter whether you want to have the hand in the back of the foot, in the front of the foot, on a block, of course, should have said that, on a block, on the thigh. But again, don't put a whole lot of weight in this bottom arm. This is not an arm exercise. It's a leg and torso and everything exercise except arms. Be proud, look up, down, or sideways, whatever feels most beneficial to you. And breathe, always, always, always breathe. Again, you can play. You can play around with opening the legs even wider, and then maybe come down on the floor if you have more flexibility, and if that is enjoyable to you, and that will work. Or do the opposite. Come up some more and stay here. And again, don't cheat yourself out of the way up. Very consciously activate those obliques, and very consciously on an in-breath, lift yourself up. I think Trikonasana is awesome. So let me show you the other Trikonasana that is taught a little less often, a little less frequent, but I think is wonderful too, and I would love for you to try it out. So, about the same stance as before, seemed right to you. And in this one, open your arms in a T. Instead of pulling that front leg hip in, you're gonna stay completely flat to the front, all right? You're not doing any kind of twisting. And you, instead of doing this with your torso, you're bending evenly. So I'm not changing a thing. I'm making sure I'm staying forward here, and now I'm just bending sideways. All right? You cannot go down as far because you're not letting this hip go back. All right? You're really staying completely flat and open to the front. So if you were to do this at a wall, I'm in a really old house and the wall is not straight. But if you were at a normal kind of a straight wall, you could now touch it with the shoulder blades, the elbows, the hands, both butt cheeks, most importantly. Maybe the calves. Maybe the calves and the heels. Yeah, it doesn't work in my case. And just do this. This is the second type of triangle. All right. And I have not left any of those points that I mentioned. They're all still attached to the wall, right? If I were to do that pull-in action, as in the other kind of triangle, this cheek would now leave the wall. So I'm really doing, and it's a bend. You should now see that this is now not my torso is not parallel to the floor, but rather it's round. It's a bend. And this is super duper strenuous after a while. I don't know if you've been joining me, but that is actually, you can feel that one more, I think. And it, of course, it also stretches in a different way, right? Because it's that whole side body, instead of going flat like that, is bending. So let's do it to the other side. And this time just imagine the wall or go to a wall. I don't know if you have tried to do that. Most importantly, again, hips completely facing the front. We're not twisting anything under. Arms open to a T. And you bend. You're gonna have to activate the abs a lot. Pull the navel in and up a little bit. And obviously now I have no weight on this arm. You can, if it's too hard, you can put a little bit of weight, and you can really put the amount of weight on your arm that feels right. Challenge yourself. And I think actually this Trikonasana is harder to stay in for a longer time. So breathe in, and wow, you're gonna have to really activate the abs to pull yourself up. So that's the other kind of Trikonasana. I think it's awesome, and every once in a while, if you're practicing at home, you might as well just put this one in. It's awesome for the oblique muscles. I hope that was interesting to you, and I hope it has given you a little bit of inspiration to just try different things out, to also find your very personal, perfect stance for the Trikonasana. So enjoy, and I hope to see you in one of my other videos.